Kenyatta in Redlands, California. Hey, Kenyatta, you wanted to talk about Malcolm X? Thanks for calling. Good talking to you.
I did on the 52nd anniversary of his assassination. As I've mentioned to you before, he is absolutely, other than my father, my greatest hero. But I wanted to ask you, I want to explore something that I've actually talked with you about before, but we didn't have a lot of time. In one of his most famous speeches, the Ballot or the Bullet, there is a passage where he says, I am neither a Democrat nor a Republican. I am not an American. I am a victim of the Democrats and the Republicans, and I am a victim of America. And I wanted to ask you, often, and I've even heard Barack Obama say this repeatedly, as a black man, I hear the phrase, we are a nation of immigrants. Black people did not immigrate here. And if they did, it was a forced immigration. So here's my question. Are black people really Americans? And if we are Americans, we are vastly different than any other Americans. And I think this is a question that really needs to be explored, Tom, because we did not run across the Interstate 5 freeway from Mexico to get here. We did not get in shipping containers from China to get here. We did not. We were kidnapped and forced to come here. So if we are Americans, we are vastly different than any other Americans. And if we are vastly different than other Americans, then I think there needs to be vastly different policies that affect us. What would you say to that?
I think that's a profound insight, Kenyatta, and I appreciate your sharing it with me. I honor it. And I'm not sure, I don't have a facile response for that. That's a question that, it's like a Socratic question. I mean, it's brilliant. How do you feel that way, first of all? And if so, what different kinds of policies are you talking about?
I do not feel like an American. If being an American is because you were born someplace or born here, that's a different thing.
But that's what our law says.
Yeah. But again, we are vastly different. And I would say very briefly, with regards to reparations, I think there should be reparations due black people, but none of them cost any money. And that's one of the first things you get pushback from typically white Americans is, oh, that's not going to happen. And I would say three things very briefly. First is that I would ask that our history, particularly our textbooks, reflect the truth as to what happened to us, how we got here, how this nation's wealth was built on our backs.
Yep. And second and third, we got 30 seconds to the break.
Okay. Number two would be to have, pursuant to the first, schools that would specifically deal with that issue for our people. And lastly, that this nation give a formal apology, if not a holiday, to commemorate what took place and how we have built this country. Because if you take the black man out of the equation, the United States does not exist as we know it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, slavery built this country, and various forms of it continue to live on. Brilliant. Kenyatta, thank you for your contribution to the show and to my mind, to my deeper understanding. I really appreciate it. You never cease to amaze me.